everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. If you are new here and you're already in here, I'm Marilyn, and my channel is Making with Marilyn. And if you're returning, thanks so much for coming back. And welcome everybody that's in the chat. It's so good to see you guys. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry. I don't have any excuses except I don't have any excuses. I just don't have any excuses, so I'm not going to make any. But thank you for being here and waiting on me. So tonight, originally, we talked last week about tonight doing a mini itty bitty backpack, and I've been out of town the last 3 days, and we didn't do any sewing, any embroidery, any of the things that I was hoping we would do while we were there. We didn't get around to those because we were doing other sister things. So I was with my two sisters, and so I did not try out a pattern for the little mini backpack, and I didn't want to get on here and give you guys a pattern that wasn't good and all that. So we're going to do a couple of things instead. So I have, and welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me say hi to everybody. Jill, great, a new member. Welcome. Thank you for joining the membership. Speaking of the membership, I do still have, let's see, I think I still have a bling template that I should have taken down by now. I think it's the Life is Tough, but So Am I, something like that. I have that in there. I will be taking that down soon. And then tonight, we are going to stitch out a design that I did 2 weeks ago, which was the embroidery version of Life is Tough, but So Am I. So that's what we're going to do here. And then if it stitches out fine, and I think it will, but if it does, then I'll add that to the members post as well so that you can have that. Now it is a larger design, and so I'm sorry if you don't have, the 6x10 or larger hoop. I have another thing I need to make into a mug rug. Maybe I can make it into a mug rug as well. So anyway, we are going to stitch that out. And then I have a template that I got from Patrice. Part of it has already been cut and the holes removed. And it's the Blingy Bunch template. And I've had it for a while. I want to get this blinged out. So that's what we're doing tonight. The Blingy Bunch template. And then we're going to stitch out what I hope to put on to the members post tonight. Okay, so welcome again and thank you for being here. Hey DB, hey Tanyu, hey Rosetta, hey Dimps, welcome. I don't know if your son stayed today and got his first day in, but if so, I hope it went great. And of course, I hope your older son's first day went great yesterday. And anybody out there, if you have babies or grandbabies that started back to school, I hope it's going well. I hope it's starting out very smoothly. I think it's important to get that smooth start to a good year. And so our school started today. It was the first time in eons that I wasn't there for the first day, and I'm sure it went great. But I need to touch base with the lady that replaced me tonight. All right, hey Mylene, hey Marta and Mylene, hey NJ, welcome. Hey DB, if I didn't say hi. And Melody, Martha, hey Sylvia, Smurf Creations, hey Retired Crafter 22, hey Stacy, Lady Bear, and Victoria O'Hare, Solar Creations, welcome. Hey Sharon, welcome. What'd Sharon say? Chat and in the, so she's saying hi to you if you're in the chat, or if you are not in the chat and you're in the bushes just listening. Welcome to everybody. Sharon, I have not made it to the post office to mail what we talked about. Hey, Bobby and Jeannie, welcome. Hey, Daisy. Hey, Nicole, Precious Pieces, welcome. And Beverly and Kelly. Hey, Donzel. Hey, Dolonda, thanks for being here. Hey, Unbiased, thank you for being here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start scrolling so we can get started. If I missed you, I apologize. Hey, Jill. Welcome to anyone new and those coming back. All right, I'm gonna scroll down. I saw Jessie in there. Hey, Jessie. Hey, Dorica. Up Designs. I'm going really quickly. Let's see. Kelly, member for 5 months. I can't believe I've even had the membership for 5 months. It is so crazy how fast time goes by. Hey, Ruja and Starla. Ruja and Starla. I think I said Ruja. Ruja and Starly. Hey, Lucille. It's Ruji and Starla. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So what I've done so far, and let me go ahead and make my table a little bit larger so we can see that. Let's see. Hey, Quilt Wrench, welcome. Welcome, welcome. First time here. We are so glad you're here. Thank you very much. I am a somewhat newbie at embroidery, and I took a quilt block square documentation for a quilt block square to my sister's house the last 3 days. I was looking at it, and so what's funny is it last night or the night before? This is Thursday. It was Tuesday night, and I met my sisters on Tuesday night. I have her play, and they're here, and I got my AirPods on, and I'm looking at a quilt block, and she said something about a quilt block. It's like, okay, it's time. It's time. So anyway, I'm going to be starting a small wall hanging with a quilt block. It's a very easy quilt block. You guys are going to be saying, is that all you have? And I have to have my phone here because I can't see myself because I have my iPad turned around. Okay, so here, there you are. Here's the first layer, and it's going to say the Blingy Bunch. Now this diamond or this bling actually goes up here. So when I brush in the stones for all these outside boxes, I'll put tape over that, and then I'll take the tape off, and then I'll brush that in. But I didn't want to use a whole new piece of flock with all that in there just for that. So I have that one done. And this one I cut on a Cricut mat on my Caesar Romeo. And it either cut perfectly, or I just haven't noticed yet if there's any flock dots that didn't come out. And then we will check these out. And then I'm going to start the embroidery so it can be going while we're doing the blinging. So my next mat, I have 3 mats. My next mat was on a Caesar cutting mat. So let's see if there's any difference at all. Okay, I must have fed it in from this end. I don't want to waste flock. No, I think I fed it in from this end. Okay, I may be wasting a little flock. I might be. Okay. Now I understand. So I'm going to keep this strip of flock down here because I can reuse it. And then here's my cut. And looks like this one cut really well. Hey, Angel B, welcome. Thanks, Donzel. All right, so this one is coming off it very nicely. And when I just first look at it, I don't know. Whoops, there's one right there. One little flock dot that didn't come out. But it looks like there's another one here. And looks like that's it. So for anyone that hasn't done bling before, this is rhinestone template material. It is flock, but it's a special flock. Hey Zelda, anyone that I missed, hello. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this parchment paper down because I'm a little bit, I have OCD tendencies. I'm not going to say I'm OCD, but I have tendencies. And so I like to put some parchment paper under my template and get it right to where I want it to go on my chopping mat so that it's pretty straight. So then I can just fold it back and pull out that parchment paper. Hey, Karen D. Welcome. Okay, so there's 2 of the parts of the template. And so far, no drama. Might be a no drama night. Hi, Kim. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So then I went back to the Cricut mat. And let's see where I need to pull it from. Okay. I don't know if you could see that, but when I pull this up, this is the uncut material. So I'm going to lay that. What I should do is pull this up a little bit. I'm going to lay that back down because this is tall enough to get a name or something out of. And then pull back on the rest of this. And it looks like, I wonder if that's one right there. Let me look and see. I don't see any in this one that didn't come out. Let's just set that aside. And I need another chopping mat. Grab that out. Hey, Faker McFake. Hey, Angie. Evelyn, you're a member of the Blingy Bunch. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to do my little parchment thing again. Set it on the parchment paper. Oh, I got to tell you guys about a product that I received today to try out. I am very, very leery. I'm very leery of whether it will work. But I'm curious about it. All right, so then we have this last layer of the template. We can lay it down. And there's what we'll have. You guys, when it gets hot and humid, my hair flips. So here's what we have. We have this outside piece on the back of it. We have the filled in part of the Blingy Bunch. And then there is a third layer, and it is the outline of the Blingy Bunch. So we are going to put that on a black shirt here in just a little bit. But meantime, we're going to get our embroidery started. So I had my heat press on. Let me go ahead and turn it back on. It's still fairly hot. I want to smooth out my fabric. So I am trying out, hey Connie. Connie, I hope the thing showed up. Let me know. I am trying out the not the template. We're not doing rhinestone templating tonight. I am trying out the design that I did in Embrilliance that said life is tough, but so am I. It's my first time to stitch it out. So when I have an old t-shirt, or my husband has old t-shirts, when I mess up a t-shirt, I am going to cut that t-shirt up and I'm going to save panels of it to try out new stitch files. And so we're going to try to stitch it up in this area tonight to see how it looks, to see if I think it's a good design that I would want to share with my members. So that's the plan. Hi, Diane. And tonight we're going to use the Poulin EOC06, and the largest frame or hoop on it is 7.9 inches tall by 11 wide. Okay, so it's a large hoop. Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, and here's, I don't know if you guys saw it, but this is the shirt that I made for our 32nd wedding anniversary, and I had made that part already, but then in my last video I stitched on established, I can't get this right, established 1993, and it's a little bit high. I think it needs to come down a little bit the next time I do something like this, but I think it turned out really nice. And so hopefully you guys saw that video. If not, you might check it out. If you're interested in embroidery, check it out. All right. All right, Brugie, thank you. I cut up my husband's old jeans too. Thanks, Evelyn. Yeah, anything to save some coins. All right, let me go ahead and put this under the heat press, and that is large enough to fit in the hoop going sideways. I have no idea if the back of my hair looks camera ready because I took a shower late. Okay, this is the reason I was late. Like I said, no excuses. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you the facts of what happened, why I caused myself to be a little bit late. I was working on editing a video. Stacy, I don't know if you're still here, but I did make that video that I said I was going to make. I made that today. I was editing it. And you know, you get into that, or you get into anything. If you start embroidering or quilting or crocheting or whatever, and you get into it, you don't want to stop. And I just worked on it too long, so then I was late getting into the shower and getting ready. All right, so we're going to use this black fabric, and typically, you know, I would use a lint roller, make sure it's nice, because I see fibers and such on here. Again, this is just my practice stitch out, so I'm not too concerned about it. I do have some cutaway stabilizer that I'm going to put under the hoop. And so I want to make sure that I cut it large enough that it all makes it inside the hoop. And I have not used this pooling for a very long time. After I got my multi-needle, I just used it like crazy and have been neglecting this pooling. Yeah, Kristen, it's exactly, it's like, huh, how'd I get that late? And not yet? Okay, thanks, Connie. Thank you, let me check on that. That scares me. That is very scary. You might check your spam and all that good stuff. All right, so with these, you're gonna loosen your hoop. And we're gonna start with our layer of cutaway. And I made it too large, but it's gonna be okay. And then I'm gonna add in my t-shirt fabric. We're going to make sure that when I get that hoop in there, it's going to catch everything. So over here, somehow I moved it way over and it wasn't going to catch in the hoop. I've also gotten totally addicted to those mighty hoops. Hi, Geneva. Hi, Gail. All right, so let's go ahead and see what's going on. What am I sitting on top of? There we go. So anyway, I've gotten totally addicted to those mighty hoops because they're like magic. Make everything super, super easy. Hi, V and Lakeisha. Welcome. V, I'm using my pooling. I'm just stitching out the members design that we designed 2 weeks ago on live. And darn it, look at that. So that's not good. That is not good. We're going to take it back out and get it situated where it should be. So, you guys, I started watching, we started binge watching. We only made it through 3 episodes. I started watching last night with Tim this show. I don't remember the name of it. Oh. Profilers maybe? It's about a fairly young lady who started her first day with, I don't know, CIA, FBI, and her first day was rough. She started out rough. but it's really, really interesting. It kept my attention really well. And I am not a big TV watcher, so I was happy to find a new Netflix series that I really enjoy. V, I haven't even looked yet. I know there is one. I'm sure there is one, but I haven't looked yet. All right, so I'm just tightening this back up. Now, if you were doing this for real, if you were doing this on a real t-shirt, what I would do is, you found one, but it just had magnetic knobby things to hold the material. Oh, yeah. I've seen those where the magnets go on top. Yes. So if I were doing this for real, what I would do on anything stretchy that, maybe not a fleece blanket, because fleece might come off with this, but a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, I would use some basting spray. I'd spray that onto my stabilizer, and I would typically use, with a t-shirt and probably a sweatshirt, I would use a no-show mesh. So I would spray this on my no-show mesh and attach that to the shirt. That way, when you get your fabric in the hoop and you're pulling on your stabilizer, you're not going to stretch your shirt. You're just going to get the shirt to the way it should be. Now, in this case, because this is just my test stitch out, I'm really not concerned with having perfection and worrying about no-show mesh and all that stuff. So I am going to slightly, ever so slightly, tug this out. Okay, looks good. Let me go ahead and remove. I'm going to remove that camera from the stage. I'm going to try to get my camera. Hi, Ethel. Hey, Sean. I'm going to try to get my camera angled well for this machine. That looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and add that back. And then we're going to make that larger because I'm over here sweating up a storm. Oh, it's hot. All right. So I already have, let me see if I can stretch this out and slide my little rolly table over. I have my design on the screen. So life is tough, but so am I. I have my large hoop already selected. I am just going to stitch this whole thing out in white because it's just to make sure that the file is good, and that way I'm not changing colors. But I may go ahead and I'll probably go ahead and put fabric in it where the applique part is. But typically I would put a light heat and bond on the back of the fabric. That way, after I cut the excess off and I get the outside on, or I can heat it down before then, I can heat it so it has better attachment to the shirt. We're just going with fabric tonight since this is just a trial stitch out. Okay? I have my water right here. Thank you, Unbiased. Thank you. Okay, so we have it. What I did, I started with pattern. I selected it off. You can either select it off a USB drive or you can wirelessly transfer it. And then I went to configuration and I would select my colors, which I'm just going to use white for everything. Okay, I would save that. I already checked on my hoop and I did the large one. I would save that. I did have to rotate my design. And I don't know why there's a break in the, oops, it does not. There's a little break for some reason on the screen. but I had to rotate my image. So on this machine, you hit rotate, and then you can just rotate it. And I always like my designs facing the left. Now it's flashing because with it being that direction, it says it's too large for the hoop. All right, so we're good there. So I'm going to say save. And then I don't think there's anything else there. We go over to the embroidery confirmation status area. Mine's on 500 speed. And this is if I need to go forward or backward some stitches. If I want to jump forward in a color or backward in a color. Other things I don't need. And then I have mine on a tension of 6, which has worked well for me in the past. So let's hope this goes well because I haven't used this machine for a while. Okay, so this machine is backwards, not backwards, it's opposite of what my Husqvarna Viking was. Hey, Rondrea, or is, I still have it. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Carrie Crafts. On this one, your hoop attaches over here. And somebody asked Rachel, or Unbiased, about that, or Rachel asked, it was Rachel, I think, asked Robin about if she liked it there. Evelyn, I would, thank you for bringing that up. And I actually like it attached over here because all your excess fabric is going that way. Whereas on my other machine, it attaches on this side. You're fitting all your excess over here, which for most things isn't a big deal. Okay, so Evelyn asked about topping. Yes, I have started using, I think I have it somewhere close by here. Nope. No, I don't. But I have it right here in the closet. I have started using a water-soluble topper. Or this says water-soluble topping. I have started using this water-soluble topping on t-shirts and sweatshirts because if you saw in one of my, did I show it in a video? I think I showed it in a video, the difference between using it and not using it and how much different it looked on t-shirts. I know, Angel B, if it doesn't go well, if it doesn't go well, I still have Bling. So I would typically use this, but since I'm just stitching this out to see how the file looks, I'm not going to spend that money because this is just scrap fabric. But I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to say that that has made a big difference for me. Okay, so I am going to slide everything under there. And then to get my hoop under, I can actually raise that even further. And let me see if you can see. We have these two, I don't know what I would call them, metal things that come up. And I have 2 divots in the plastic part of this. So I'm going to unlock and go ahead and push it on. And it's on. I also, let's see, I don't have the extra table on there. Let me get that because I want to put that on there. Since I am using the large hoop, I want to have the extra support piece, even though that's not very heavy, but I want to have that on there. It's just right over here. And I saw Eve in the chat. Hey, Eve. And so this doesn't truly attach. It really just slides. It slides on and just gives her more surface space. All right, so yes, Angel B, I'm a little bit nervous about this because I have not used this machine for quite a while, but we're going to see how it goes. Now, first thing I notice is it is not threaded, and fortunately for me, the hole in this needle is larger than my multi-needle, and so I can typically thread this without needing my little glasses that Danny put me onto. I use those glasses all the time at my multi-needle, and I would not go back to not using them because they've taken the stress out of threading it. Okay? All right. I am going to have to move this back so I can get my head over there. And let me turn this so I can see it straight on. This is an old desk. It was one of my kids' desks when they were little. Or not little, but middle school, high school. And we ended up kind of remaking it. Okay, I'm going to try not to get my head in front of the camera. We remade it and we added... you guys know that I'm not good at this while I'm on camera. Anyway, we added casters to the bottom of it so it rolls. Okay, there we go. See all my junk over there. All right. Hey, J Mama. So, to start this, I need to put the foot down. And then I'm going to hope and pray that this goes well. So I'm going to say ready. And then I'm going to push the stop button. I'm going to press this, and then I'm going to probably stop it so I can trim the extra thread off. It depends on which part of the design it's going to be on, because I can't remember. So let's go ahead and start it and see what happens. Okay, so it is doing the position stitch, or the fabric material stitch, as Embroidery calls it, of the word tough. And while it's doing that, I need to grab some fabric that I can put in there for my applique fabric. Hey, Victoria's Creations. What's the little white part when threading the needle? The little white part when threading the needle. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, MJ. Was that MJ? The little white part when threading the needle. It may be glaring as white, but there's not really a white part. Or maybe I'm not understanding. That could be it. Oh no, so the supervisor's home, but now he's sick. All right, I'm gonna grab my applique fabric and then I'll be right back. And it's not gonna be anything fancy, it is just gonna be something to lay down. Okay, I found some. This is just some cute little, it has a vertical stripe on it. Jade Mama, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, is the white maybe on the foot? Here, let me, so is it something that you can see right now, NJ? Okay, now here it's, I gotta stop it. Because since usually I would have the tack down stitch a different color than the material or the placement stitch, and I don't, so it just kept going. So we are going to go ahead and trim. I have to remember how to trim. Trim, trim, trim. There we go. Let me show you. Here's a button. and you push it and it trims it. And then I need to back up, I don't know how many stitches, I'm going to say 50 or so. And so I'm not going to be too concerned about getting it precise, since this is just a practice thing. You don't see it now, MJ. I'll bet it was a glare. Hey, Jennifer, welcome. Just finished doing some blocks for your Christmas tree skirt. Nice. Hey, Teresa. Okay, so I'm going to click on this button right here, and I can go back 10 stitches. And I'm just going to kind of watch over there and see approximately where I need to be. Let's see. Let's go back 10 more. Okay, that's part of the old part, so now I'm going to go forward. And that looks pretty good right there. Okay, so let's get some fabric out and on there. So we're going to move the camera so you can see that part again. And this is, as many of you know, from watching Teresa's live last Friday, that one of our fellow YouTubers, Naomi, passed away about a month ago, a little over a month ago now. And this is part of the fabric that she sent me. She had sent me a box of fabric because she was so tickled and pleased when I started doing more sewing. And even before I started embroidering, that I was doing it. And she knew that I had limited fabric because I was new and I just didn't. And she sent me a big box of it. And so it's special. It's a special fabric. I said it wasn't anything special, but it really is special. And I have a lot that I got from her. So that is very nice. One thing I would say is when she did her videos, when Naomi did her videos, she did her videos for you to truly learn. She was not just there to entertain. She was there because she wanted us to learn from her videos. All right, so that's good enough. Now I have more fabric than I really need, I think. But I'm going to lift that presser foot up and place my fabric down. And what I'm making sure is that my fabric is covering every bit of white for these placement stitches, or as Embroidery calls it, material stitches. And so everything is covered. I can put my presser foot back down. And let me click this back button, and then I'll press start again. So now what it's doing is the tack down stitch. Hi, Shirley. Vancouver Island. I just cut my fabric to make the bowl cozies that Marilyn made a couple months ago. Awesome, Shirley. Awesome. Yes, Teresa and Shamika. It was very unexpected, very quick, very sudden, totally unexpected. V, you want to make the bowl cozy? Well, okay, maybe next. Uh-oh, what's going on? Oh, nothing's going on. I just didn't trim my thread like I usually do because I haven't seen Shay Shay on here. But because, as Shay Shay says about Angel B and I, we are thread insecure. So I guess that was just maybe from where I don't know what that was, but it's gone. So let's go ahead and start it back up. Evelyn, thank you so much for welcoming Shirley also. And Kristen. Nicole, enjoy Bible study. See you later. All right, so now we are about halfway done with our tack down stitch. And I am one of the weirdos that really likes to take this off and trim it. I have cut my material with my Cricut before, but I don't mind trimming it. And so we'll do that. And I'm hoping we get to this bling shirt. I'm not sure we will. We'll see. So is anyone working on anything tonight besides, let's see. Jennifer was working on the Christmas tree skirt or the blocks for the skirt. Are you guys working on anything else? And I haven't seen Gail in here yet, but she did reach her goal of 300 subscribers. And so, Gail, if you're watching the replay, congratulations on that. That's wonderful. All righty. Now we have that same issue. Remember, I used white on everything instead of having different colors, and I didn't add stops because typically my thread would be different colors. Oh, I hope you had a good dinner. Yum. And so it took off and it started to do the outline stitch or the satin border stitch. So once again, I'm going to trim this. What I really should have done is just left my colors different, but left the white thread on there because it really doesn't matter. What matters is what color of thread you have on your machine. You're packing up you and Zay for his Ohio tournament this weekend. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Hopefully it's not super duper hot. Okay, so once again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to back up. I don't know how many stitches I did. Okay, there we go. I backed it up to the other side. Now let me go forward until it travels to where I know it's going to start. Now this time I need to remove my hoop. I need to lift my pressure foot. So let's remove the hoop, pull it off, and then we'll trim around the letters. Okay, so I'm going to cover over this so nobody gets too sick. Nobody gets too dizzy. And you saw the junk on the floor, all my wires. Okay, so here we are. And let me grab my favorite type. I have two pairs of them. So I love these double bend scissors. And then I also like the really small scissors for the smaller spots or smaller spaces. Okay, so we are going to cut. I like to pull my fabric up kind of toward me so that I'm cutting really close to those stitches. So I have my scissors laying on my fabric. You can hear me banging them. And that's okay because this end is pointed up, so it's not going to cut through my shirt. Now, if I accidentally cut a thread or two, I'm not going to flip out. I'm not going to be too upset because this tack down stitch was really just to hold the fabric in place for that final satin border stitch. And so even if I cut a couple of stitches, it's going to be fine. But, uh-oh, why was there no stitches right there? Let me make sure I still have bobbin. I still have bobbin. Guess I better check my pattern to make sure it's good. All right. And so just relax, listen to music, have the TV on, something like that while you're doing this. Or cut it with a Cricut or a scanning cut or a Romeo, a silhouette, whatever you want to cut fabric with. And I tend to not make super little detailed parts that have to be cut. And so I just like doing it this way. But if I were doing quilt blocks with a lot of little applique pieces, I would definitely cut it with something else. And I'm loving the looks of the scanning cuts, but I don't think I can justify that. So I would use my Cricut. Hey Betty, welcome. Good to see you here. All right, let's go down in between the letters. And, you know, for the sake of time, I should go a little quicker and not worry too much about it. But there's something about this part that I want to try to have all the fabric covered, even if I'm just doing a practice stitch out, because all the practice I can get with the scissors is good. Unless I'm going to go to 100% cutting all this out with a machine, I might as well try to do a nice job on this, even though it's just a practice stitch out. So my H is done. Okay, did I miss anybody saying what else they were working on? You're going to have an unclaimed giveaway bin? The machine is heat and bond light. Carrie Crafts, I learned that. I learned that the hard way. So, not the cutting out part, because I've cut out fabric with regular heat and bond or even the Ultra. I think it's called Ultra. And it cut out well. But the first time that I did applique using heat and bond, I used the thicker heat and bond, I think it's in the red roll. And even though some people use it and they say they have no problem with it, I started researching and I found that the heat and bond light is considered the sewable heat and bond, and that's what people recommended. So I got a little heat and bond light and I had no more problems with it. But my machine did not like the heat and bond Ultra or Ulta or whatever it is. So it gets a lot of little loose fibers on here. After I'm done, I can get those off. I don't really like to use a lint roller before I do my final stitch out, because I'm always worried it's going to pull the fabric a little bit loose in the frame or in the hoop. I've started calling hoops frames because that's the jargon that my Smartstitch uses, is it calls it a frame. So now I've started calling them frames. Yeah, Jennifer, I like SVGs. Matter of fact, on the video I worked on today, well, do I have my pillow up here? My little Hello pillow that I stitched out, and I think I believe I did a live version, a tutorial showing how I made the Hello file. But of course, you know, lives last long, and not a lot of people like to go back and watch a long live. And so today I did a regular length video showing how to make that design. And the first step that I did was I made the SVG in Silhouette Studio. And I think that I could have used Stitch Artist 3 and used an inflation type thing for the offset or the shadow, but I don't have Stitch Artist 3, so I just have to do my offset in Silhouette and then bring it over as an SVG, and it comes over so nicely. Now I'm missing a few stitches right here, so hopefully that will look nice when I'm done, and I will look into why I'm missing some stitches. I don't know why, but I will check out the file before I give it out to the members. Okay, one more area. I about forgot it, the inside of this O. Yeah, the heat and bond light, I love it. Oh, Dee Dee, I'm glad that you haven't had a fall for a while. Okay. Hey, Chris. Yes, Chris says, hey, Shay Shay. Chris says the Heat and Bond Ultra or whatever says no sew right on the package. How did I miss that? I don't know, but I did. Okay, so to get inside of this O, hey, Shay Shay. I'm doing that. Okay, I'm trying to see what you guys are suggesting. Diane suggested something and I missed it. Let's see. Brother SE 700 SE. They want to do a one-on-one with you. Anyone have them? Okay. My last sewing machine I bought was in 1996, Singer. Hey, that's about my era. Mine's actually older than that. I've never owned a computerized machine and I'm afraid I'll break it. Lisa, hopefully somebody in here has one or has one similar. Hey, Miss Joyce. Okay, so I am just going to try to poke this seam ripper in just this very top layer, just enough so I can make a hole in it, and then I go back in with my scissors. So we are almost ready to put this back on the machine. All right. Very fuzzy, lots of fibers. But like I said, I don't really like to rub my lint roller on here at this point because I'm afraid it's going to pull up my fabric and make it loose. I do see a few little stray pieces of thread I need to get cut off or cut off. Oh, you need to hush. I don't need you. All right, so right here, I'm not going to pull it up so much, but right here is where, for some reason, I see my placement stitch, but I don't have a tack down stitch there, and I don't know why. I don't know why. So we're hoping that that catches with the satin stitch. I need to look and see if the start stop got moved or something. I don't know. All right, we're going to put this back on the machine. And fortunately, there's only one way it can go on, so it's not like you can accidentally get it switched up. But let me move me over. Let me remove that, and then okay. I think that looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and add that back. Delonda. Delonda does not like scissors. Although, Delonda, I heard you say you have how many pairs? 15 or 50? Or is that between you and the Lord? I'm sure that is between you and the Lord, but I heard you say it. All right, so we are going to pull up. Oops, I got my material caught on my needle. There we go. Pull it up and reattach it. And we're ready to go. I'm going to pull a little bit of thread out and then place my needle down. This time I will start my machine and then I'll stop it. You're up to about 30. I love scissors. And if you want to include, are these counted as scissors? Because if you want to include those, I'm probably not too far behind. I love those little snips. Okay, so we're going to start this. We're going to let it go just a little bit. And then I'm going to stop it so I can trim that thread right there. Unless, as it's doing its magic, it sucks it in there. And it looks like it did suck it in there. Nope, I see a little bit. And there's my little top that's not sewn down for some reason. Hopefully, when it comes around, it catches that. I could have tried to put a little bit of glue under there, but let's see. Hey, it caught it. It caught it, it caught it, it caught it. But I feel like, hey Gail, welcome. Thanks for being in here and congratulations on your 300 subscribers. I feel like if you have heat and bond under there, that it's going to be more securely on your shirt. Because I know I had a kitchen towel that was applique, and after my first wash, the fabric was coming out from under the stitches. And so I feel like that would be good. Sean, you refuse to count yours. All right, so that's going to take a while. So now we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of bling. And I need to figure out what colors I'm going to use. I will probably use my black t-shirt. It's right here. Let me grab it. All right, let's see what we have in this Michael's sack. I hope. Okay, good. I was going to say, I hope I have a black t-shirt in here. I have a couple black ones, a purple one, a blue one, a bright red one. But we're going to use the black one because that's my favorite color to use for rhinestones. And again, if you're new to rhinestones, the black t-shirts just really allow those rhinestones to pop and to really show. So let's go ahead and turn that back on. I will get my lint brush because I do want to lint brush this. Rosanna, hello. I don't think I said hi to you. Oh, Shay Shay, I think that's your little picture up there with the super chat. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And you guys, if you didn't see Shay Shay's thread shelves, they're like clear acrylic. They look really good. I need to see how many I can fit over there and order some. You got a beautiful pink Singer full-size an iron, okay. I owned one of those for over 20 years. That's funny. Your little HTV rod wasn't working for you anymore. Satins. Oh, I'm not. I didn't want to have to change my thread since this is totally just a practice stitch out, Shay Shay. Let's see, Kristen. You feel like you may have fear of failure because I can't seem to make time to get started. Okay, I missed what you might be starting up there. So, all right, it moved to the next one. Now, this Poulin EOC 06, which has the large needles, it has a feature in the programming where you can tell it to trim jump stitches, and jump stitches really stink to cut yourself. So if you have one, or you're thinking about getting one, to me that was a big issue. So my fabric has pink in it. There's pink and purple and red and white, but the thread is just white. Oh, it was Keisha that said that. Why did I say Kristen? Keisha, what is it? What is it that you haven't got started and you think you might not be starting because you might have a fear of failure? Let us know. So I'm going to go ahead and press this and grab my lint roller, and I have to decide what stones I want to use. So I'm going to press this down. Here, let me take this off. Oh, it was Keisha, because I see it right there. So Keisha, hopefully you let us know when I get back what it is. Okay, I went to get my lint roller. Forgot to bring it, but I did bring the stones back. And what I'm thinking about for the outside outline, you guys know that I like, this is actually silver crystal. This isn't Labrador, this is silver crystal. And then that would be for the very outside outline. And then for the outline of the words, the Blingy Bunch, light cyan, and then for the inside of Blingy Bunch, light cyan AB, which is a companion stone to light cyan. Then I would still have that diamond up there that I need to figure out what I want to use on it, but I'm not sure. Okay, Keisha, let's see. Let's see if I saw it. Anything. Oh, okay, I see. Let's see, Keisha. So let's see if we can help Keisha out. If anybody has some good motivation, or maybe not even motivation, but good advice. She says she has a hard time starting anything. I have a lot of supplies in place now, but I haven't had a break between finishing school and just getting back to full-time work, but I'm not making time to start a project. Okay, Keisha, first of all, give yourself some grace, because you finished school. School took a lot of energy, emotional energy, and time. And I know crafting is therapeutic, but it takes emotional energy too, especially if you're starting something new and it's not second nature to you. So to me, like, bling is just always going to be therapeutic because it's second nature now. But doing something new, like embroidery, which I haven't done all that long, that's going to cause a little bit of emotional energy to be used up. So give yourself some grace. Congratulations on finishing school. Going back to full-time work, that's a big stressor. If you haven't been doing full-time and you're going back to full-time. And then I know from full-time work, which, you know, I retired several months ago now, that's exhausting. Full-time work by itself, and doing the dishes, doing the laundry, paying the bills, keeping the house up. I don't know your situation, whether you have a spouse or children or a mother that lives with you. But there's a lot of life things that take a lot of energy. So number one, give yourself some grace. And number two, I'd say start really, really, really small. Start with something small. Something that's small and not too difficult. And just make it where you have some successes, and that's gonna that's gonna help you want to make more crafts. Thank you, Miss Joyce. Stuck in the ideas. I can understand that. Oh, Dee Dee, yes, I'm still using my Topaz 40 on occasion. I'll be honest, not very much. And I think, Dee Dee, didn't you get the Topaz 50? And the reason, Dee Dee, is because this machine has a much larger hoop. So the Topaz, my Topaz, because I have the 40, was 6, but not really 6. The stitching area maybe 5 3/4 by 10, which was more like 9 3/4. And so this one just has a much larger area. Okay, what was Miss Joy's idea? Get a notebook, write all your ideas down. Perfect. So they're not lost. Yes, totally agree. And it kind of depends on what kind of person you are. Are you like a random abstract, or are you a logical sequential? Because like me, when I organize, I have to organize in that logical sequential manner. But if you're random abstract, you might organize in a different way. But that is a great idea. Let's see. So Quill Wrench, if you're talking about Becky, it sounds like I need to go back and watch. Oh, you heard it was really good. Okay, I need to go back and watch. All right, see you, Delonda. See, housework. Just gotta go do some laundry. All right, let's go ahead and start on the bling. And let me see. Maybe I can tilt this down so you can see it, since my overhead camera is being used. You can't really see my face anymore, but hi, I'm okay with that. I just have to figure out which way to turn things. All right, so I am starting with the layer that says the Blingy Bunch. It's the outline. Nope, that's not what I'm starting with. I lied. I am starting with the little blocks for the Blingy Bunch. And so this is a play off the old Brady Bunch. And it's really, really cute. Oh, Quilt Wrench, thank you. I was so honored that she did that. But thank you for being here. Hi, Marlies. Welcome. And look at that, Keisha. Shay Shay says, please reach out. The other thing that maybe I would say, Keisha, is put your craft supplies on hold or on freeze or whatever, and start working with what you have, because adding more to it could add stress. Just having more and maybe not the space to be adding more could cause some stress. So start with some stuff you have. Okay, so for the non-blingers, these are called hot fix rhinestones. Well, let me ask, how is the sound? Can you hear me with that machine right by me? Because I can push it over. You're overspending now, LOL. Keisha, I get it. I understand it. I just want to start crafting. Okay, I would put a freeze. Put a freeze on that spending. Hey, Danny. And the thing is you can always buy it later. So you see all these cool things on YouTube or wherever. And, you know, some of us have that fear of missing out. but you can always buy them later. Okay, you can hear fine. Thanks, Merlinda. All right, let's look at how it's doing. It's looking good. I think maybe I'll change my camera so you can see what I'm doing here and I can like see the thing. Okay. Yeah, Teresa, agree. Kristen, that's good. Use what you have, Era. But then I start sewing and I don't have sewing stuff. Yeah, adding new crafts. That'll do that. Okay, I am going to remove this and move the camera. And then let's add it back. That way you can see. And I want to change this so that you see my head and not just my belly. Okay, there we go. All right, so if you are new to bling or you haven't done bling before, these are called hotfix rhinestones. And the hotfix just indicates that they have a glue on the back that you use heat to activate. And so the first step with this, you know, after you have your flock cut out, your rhinestone template cut out, the first step is just dump a bunch of rhinestones on and just try to get them down into the holes. You can just do some circular motions, things like that. And the stones I'm using now, these are, oh, I have one that does not belong in there. I got one of my, looks like maybe citrine AB mixed in. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what's good. I don't mind, but I'm not sure what the question was. But who I'm talking about, Becky, who Quilt Wrench is from, who Shay Shay's talking about, is Becky from Power Tools with Thread. And she comes on, I'm pretty new to her, but she comes on at 8 Central in the morning. And is it every Monday through Friday? Okay, I'm biased. That's who was asking. Hi, Lynetta. Okay, Lynetta, I do have some videos, but I would not say I have a lot of videos on where to place your design. Do you use your Brilliance Essentials to downsize? I don't downsize patterns, so I definitely don't have a video on that. Now, if it's my working file, I can download my working file because it will adjust the stitches. But I have some videos on the EOC 06, but not a ton. Shay Shay, there's a lot of people in our community that are on there. It was great. Okay, Mylene, have fun learning them all. Start with something small, learn one, and then start another one. That's a good idea, Mylene. Start with one, do it a few times or until you feel like you know what you're doing, and then get a new one after that. Always remember, crafting is fun. Patrice, hey! I hope you had a wonderful birthday yesterday. Keisha, don't feel bad. I mean, there's so many of us that do the same thing. Nikki, yep, make sure they're on. All right, I think I'm behind, but I'm getting caught up. Okay, good. She had a wonderful birthday. Awesome. So yes, Patrice's birthday was yesterday. And I need to hear what you did, Patrice. Did you go out and eat? What did you do last night? Come home, relax, chill out. So this looks like a mess because, excuse me. Excuse me, just a minute. After this weekend, you're going to say no. Okay. So I have way too many stones on here, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything because once we have most of the holes filled, we're going to wipe these off with this brush. And this is a paint trim brush. And once this wears out, you can get a new piece and just slide it on. Now this one that's purple actually came from Eve, the baby's booty. You can also get them at places like Lowe's and Home Depot. So we're just going to take those extra stones off. Let's see where we are over here. It just finished stitching around the G. So we have the H left, and then it's going to do the fill stitches. The smaller letters. And then notice I have my tape down here because there is an inside to this diamond and those holes are here and I didn't want to use the same color and it wouldn't be in the right place. So I covered over those holes with this tape. Oh, I missed what she said she did. Hi, Mary. Welcome. Learn cake decorating, bread baking, crocheting, sewing, vinyl crafting, and now bling. It's addictive. It is all so addictive. You're going to get your knitting. Oh, you're going to do knitting. I do not know how to knit. But knitting is something I used to watch my sister do, and it really intimidates me. Very, very much so intimidates me. Okay, so I am looking for extra stones that I can put into the holes that weren't filled. And I will really be glad when this embroidery is done because this is annoying to me. I don't know how it's not annoying to you, but it's very annoying to me to try to talk over it. Addie used to be a cake decorator. My niece is a really good cake decorator. Mylene loves her We Create. Awesome. You can't hear my machine? That is amazing because it is really loud in my ear. And I don't even think I have noise cancellation on. I've never seen where you turn it on. But I'm really glad to hear that you guys can barely hear it or can't hear it. Now sometimes the rhinestones get stuck to that tape, but no big deal. Okay, Keisha. Oh, shoot. Okay, so you have to sit for this NCLEX to get your license to practice. So, what is an NCLEX? I know it's a certification exam. Patrice, what are you going to show us? I am not good at keeping up with the chat. Oh, nursing! Oh, what a wonderful profession. If I could have handled blood, broken bones, all that, the medical area would have been something I would have loved. Just the helping aspect and the making a huge difference aspect. So that is wonderful, but I know I've said this before on live, I'm pretty sure, but my lab partner, okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. My lab partner in our biology class was gone the day we dissected frogs, and I didn't touch mine. And Betty Biology, as we lovingly called her, did not notice until I believe it was Todd Baker turned around and said, Marilyn, you haven't touched your frog yet, or what's your frog doing whole, or something like that. Well, whose attention do you think that got? Betty Biology's. So, honestly, I do not remember what happened next. I don't remember if she stood there and walked me through it, or if she just gave me a 0 for the day. I don't remember. I don't think I cut the frog. So, I don't know how I got a daughter that has done what she's done in her career, because it didn't come from me. Okay, I think I have everything filled. All right, my satin border stitch is finished. So now it is starting with Life Is. And let me turn it off for a second so I can trim my thread. I know you can't see it yet. Okay. Yeah, I might have blocked it out of my mind, Eve, if she told me I had to, which I don't think she did. But if she told me I had to, and if I did, I blocked it. That could be the reason. I don't know. I need to find Todd Baker and ask him how it ended up. Hey, Shay Shay, I am using Light Sammy B, which is a form of pink. Oh, you had to decline dissecting on a pig. So I would too. We do what are called fetal pigs at the high school where I worked. But one day I'm walking around because I like to be in the classroom and all that stuff and just see what's going on. I had classroom guidance lessons, but that was usually preparing for something. But I would also walk around, go into and out of classrooms. And so one day I was looking for certain students. And I had a list of rosters in my hand, and I'm looking down at the roster to see, okay, what student was it that I was looking for when I came to this room? And the room was a science room. In our science rooms, you have this huge science room, and then off this side of it, well, basically you have a huge science room, and then some cabinets that only go up halfway, and then you have the big lab over here. Really, really nice labs. Oh, a cow eye. And so I walk in, I'm looking down at my roster to figure out now who is in here that I needed to talk to. And when I look up, and I'm so sorry for all the cat lovers in here, but they were dissecting cats. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. Now, you can smell when the science room are doing dissecting, but you can't necessarily tell before you open the door which room it's coming from because all of the science rooms are clustered right there. But I should have had a clue that it could have been that room, but It was nasty. Hey, Lena Doyle. All right, so we are going to pick this up and get it on our shirt. To pick it up, we have what's called hot fix transfer tape. And so, like if you do vinyl, not HTV, heat transfer vinyl, but adhesive vinyl, you cut it and then you have a piece of transfer tape you put on top, you pull it up and you move it over. We're doing the same thing, but it has to be a special transfer tape. So I'm going to grab that. And you guys, this is stitching out so cute. Cute, cute, cute. I like it. I really like it. Now, I am not using my fabric scissors on this, so if anybody's concerned that I'm using my good fabric scissors, I am not. I don't use my fabric scissors for anything except for fabric. Oh, thanks, Rachel. Rachel says, hit the like button. I think we did a sheep's eye. Ooh. Well, hi, Nicole. Welcome. Oh, this has a lot of static on it. Oh, my goodness. I think I told you before, I have not had issues with static before. All of a sudden in my craft room, I have static. And it's humid outside. How do you have that much static when it's humid out? Okay, so we are going to commit, lay this down, press on the stones. That looks cute. And then let's just see if we get them all up. And look, it's pulling up that tape too. That's okay. I can get that tape off of there. Okay, I had one stone over here that didn't come up, so I'm putting that back down, pressing on top. We have a couple over here. Well, they still didn't come up. And I just moved the stone. So if they didn't come up this time, I'll go ahead and pull it up. Oh, they came up. Let's see, I can always add one or two later. But they all came up. Now, I'm afraid that that tape, I see I have a stone upside down. Let me see if you guys can see that. You see some real shiny right there? That is a stone that's upside down. If I press this with that upside down, it wouldn't do anything. It just wouldn't stick. But I'm going to go ahead and lift it off. And we'll do that with the tweezers. Whoops. It shot off somewhere. It shot off somewhere. I have no idea where. So let me grab another stone out of here. Flip it over. And then we'll just put it down in its place. Now that's not in the right place. There we go. That's better. So Patrice, I was talking, and there's a whole lot of people that weren't here earlier. Maybe you guys know what this show is. It is a Netflix series. Tim and I started watching it last night. We watched 3 episodes. Each episode's about 45 minutes. You just graduated last week, but I wanted to start something. I had been waiting for a while to be able to sit down and do something that seems like I'm not been moving when I do have time. It's okay, Keisha. It's okay. Again, give yourself some grace. And you may need to schedule it. You may need to have time scheduled in where you say, okay, on Saturday, at 10 in the morning or at 8 at night or whatever hours you like, I'm going to actually do this. And don't be too hard on yourself if something happens and you don't. Okay, so this Netflix series, Gail, I'm not sure what you're getting prayers for, but maybe the tropical storm. But I hope you'll be okay. This new Netflix series, it's a fairly young girl. To me, she's really young because, you know, I'm not. But she's a really young professional, either starting in the CIA or the FBI. I think the CIA, but I don't know. I can't remember. And the first show was her first day of work, and it started badly. But what's his name? Slade. There's a guy in it who is an unconvicted criminal, and he helps her figure out things in the cases she's working on, and he'll only talk to her. And anyway, it was really good. But does anyone know the name of that show? Alrighty. So we have our shirt here. This is a black Gildan shirt, even though, well, look at my hands, they're glowing. So this camera does weird things to colors. I think I'm going to find the center of this shirt because this is kind of a squarish design, and I want to have it as centered as possible. Here, let me show you guys where we are over here. Now it's kind of crooked, and there are a lot of fibers on the shirt, but don't worry about it. I'll get them off. But look at it. So it says life is tough, and then it's stitching out, but so am I. Hey, Jess. Keisha, I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I'm hanging out with Tim and we're not co-playing, and by co-playing, usually he's on his computer sitting at the kitchen island, and I'm over on the couch on my computer watching YouTube, and we co-play. But we actually sat down last night. Blacklist, I think that is it. I think that's it, Quilt Winch. You know what, earlier I called you Quilt Wrench. Now I say it's Quilt Winch. I love that name. Okay. So we have our crease down the middle. And we have our stones. And we know which is up and which is down. And I know what's wrong. Baby, what's wrong? Are you out of a bobbin? I think you're out of a bobbin. Okay, so we're gonna put this down. This is a big design, so we can have it a little higher than you typically would. I'm gonna try the Eve trick where I just put my hands down. Okay, that looks fine. Because I have a bobbin issue I need to look into. Uh-oh. I'm not quite up to temperature. I'm at 330, and typically I'm doing these at 350. But this is going to get maybe 3 more presses because I have this. I want to move this over. It looks like I shifted that a little bit. And so I'm at 336. I'm going to go for it. I am wedged in here. Why did I do this to myself? All right, let me see over here. What's going on? So let's trim and then take it off. And, well, there's a little bit left on the bobbin. It's, oh, I see a lot of goofy stuff with my stuff on the shirt. There was a lot of lint buildup. All right, let me see. Are you enough bobbin to finish my project? I think I'm going to try it. So the warning it was giving me, it said please rethread, and there was a little bunch of thread fibers where the eye of the needle is, but it didn't break or anything. So I just pulled some out to get better thread. I'm going to put it on and see if that works. If that doesn't work, then I'll rethread it. Now it's still flashing. Oh, I have to say okay on the screen. It's still flashing. So is it so smart it knows that I tried to just do a workaround? Let's see. Oh, lay the foot down. Okay. Okay, we're going. Now let me see. How does it know I need to rethread? It is so smart. All right, we're going to rethread this in just a minute. I don't want to let these stones sit on here. I'm going to go ahead and get them off. Let's go slow. Make sure they all stay stuck down since I really wasn't all the way up to temperature. And they look fine. I will reuse that transfer tape on my next 2 layers, but for now, we need to do a little rethreading. So I'm going to move my camera so you can see how that's done. Okay, I know you're not going to be able to see it really closely. We move these stones out of the way so I don't knock them off on accident. And let's see if I missed anything. Check your email. Okay. So I am going to cut the thread up here and pull it in the direction after I trim it. Pull it in the direction it's meant to be pulled. And we'll just start this over. Now somebody told me that you need to have your foot up or down. And then I looked at the information and a video, and Poulin said on this machine, it can be either one. So I don't get too concerned about that. Now I do need to turn this so I can see straight on. And look at all this stuff on my shirt. Let's go ahead and clean this extra thread up too. And it's not really a shirt, it's just a piece of t-shirt fabric. We are just doing a test stitch out before I share this file. Now, I really think while I'm in here, I am going to go ahead and put a new bobbin in. And I do save these old bobbins because you can see there's enough on here to do, there's enough on there to do something. With this one, you're going to have the bobbin, so it's like a P, so you have your thread coming down this way. And set it inside. Let's see. Oh, it's been a while since I've done this. Put it under this little thing, thread it through there, pull it, and then there's a little scissory type thing, a blade in there that cuts it. Then let's put this back on the correct way. Hopefully it's still flashing red-green. Let's hope this works. If not, I'll show you what I have done, and I'll just keep working on my bling. Haven't really had, I mean, I've had to rethread before, but I thought that the light quit flashing, but maybe not. I don't remember. Okay, it acts like it's going to be fine, but let me cut that excess thread off. And come back over here. You guys, I just did it again. Just did it again. I'm about ready to pull it off and show you what I have. Finish this shark, because we've been on here for almost 2 hours. Okay. If my nerves are better without that noise going. I'll take it off in a minute and show it to you. Then I'll just deal with it. I'll deal with it after the live. All right, here's what we have so far. So the next layer that we are going to do, Shay might do some with purple. What? She might use purple. Thanks, Jessie. No, it didn't break. It's telling me to rethread it. Yeah, it didn't break. It's just saying to rethread it. But I don't have the wherewithal right now to keep doing that. Okay, so here's the next layer, and it is the outline of the words, the Blingy Bunch. I'll go back to that after I'm done with the bling. And if you want to hang, you can hang. If you don't, no big deal. So for this one, we are using light cyan. And then for the inside, we are using light cyan AB, which is going to put a lot of pink vibes off Shay. Pinkish, purple. It's very pretty. And so the light cyan and the light cyan AB, let me say that over. The light cyan and the light cyan AB are companion colors. At its core, it's the same stone. Yes, Donzel. And then the light cyan AB has an AB coating. AB stands for Aurora Borealis, like the stuff that happens in the sky. And it makes it show off other colors. So in this case, I see colors of pinks, purples, blues, even a tiny little bit of a gold hue in there. But it makes it really, really pretty if an AB stone is good for your design. So there's some designs, like if you're doing a Christmas tree and you want to use a traditional green for the tree, then you want a green stone that's probably not an AB. because the AB is going to cause that green to show off in other colors. And what I'm thinking of in particular is like emerald AB, kind of shows off blues and a lot of different things like that. Or especially if you're doing team shirts and the colors of the team. Let's go with the Chiefs. The colors of the team. Check your thread path from the spool. Thank you, Evelyn. All right, thanks, NJ. If the colors of the team, for example, the Chiefs, are red, you want red stones. And even though light cyan is a beautiful red, would be a great color for the Chiefs, light cyan AB would not be a great color for the Chiefs. Or if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, I know Sharon is, and Dorica, if she's still in here, you would probably want to use, I don't know, what color do you use for the Chiefs? For the Cowboys. Cyan or sapphire? You would not want to use sapphire AB because it's not going to be true Dallas Cowboys colors. So if you're looking at buying stones, and if you go onto each site, thebabiesbooty.com, she has little video thumbnail type things, little videos where you see the colors that come out of that stone. And make sure that you check out the pictures, the videos, so that you order the color you would want if you're going to order stones. Dorica, what color do you use for the Cowboys? What's that? Well, Boscova. I went to Boscova today. What's a Boscova? I've never heard of it. All right, so these filled in really quickly. I do see that I have a gap. I see I have an extra stone, so I'm going to take the extra stone, move it to the gap. And Jesse, if you don't see anything else, I think we're done. I believe we are done. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stones up because I don't want to get them mixed up accidentally with another colored stone. You saw earlier I had a citrine AB mixed in with something, and that's because I probably left it sitting on my table, unbeknownst to me, and put it back in the wrong container. Hi, Ramona. So Dorica says she uses sapphire for the Cowboys. I would assume that would be the color I would use. You know, if I were going to do a cowboy shirt, that's probably the color I would use. Now, I guess also one thing I could do is if I rethread this thing another time or two and it still says that, I would be tempted to turn it off and turn it back on. But if I did that, I would need to know exactly what stitch I'm on. And I see it right there. I'm on stitch number 1. No, I'm on stitch number 17,163 out of 20,394 stitches. So I could write that down, turn it off. Oh, Chris, thank you. I have a ton of lint. And there was a lot of lint that built up on the needle. Thank you, Chris. Okay, it's a department store in a mall in the city I grew up in as a kid. Kind of like Burlington store. Okay, thanks. All right, so we're ready to pick up this layer. This layer basically is going to go right inside that last layer. So once you get the first layer on and it starts outlining each other, it gets easier to place them. Easier in a way. You don't have to worry about being centered, not centered. But then you do have to be careful about not laying down stones on the other layer. Okay, looks good. And then after this layer, we have the inside of the blingy bunch and then the inside of the diamond. You hush. Be good. Just stay on. Well, why won't you pick up? Pick up. Extreme issues call for extreme measures. You're not supposed to do this according to somebody that I know. Well, I don't know him. Somebody that I've watched, but sometimes I just do it because I need to. And the only reason that he says not to do it is, whoops, because it wears out in your transfer paper sooner. All right, success. So let's bring our shirt back out here. Now I have a stone. Whoops, I just moved it off the table. It went flying. I had a stone on the table. So I don't know if a stone came off here or not, but we'll figure it out. So when you're doing the layering, you just kind of have to be careful you don't set it down on top of other stones, because if you do, it's not going to stick well. And I've done that where it's kind of halfway on, halfway off, and that is not a good way to do it. So I'm going to set this down to begin with, adjust my shirt, and I'm going to take my time because that's not where it should be. When I first started doing rhinestones on YouTube, I always felt like I had to hurry. And so I didn't pay as well or as good of attention, whatever the adjective or adverb or whatever it would be. I didn't take my time as much because I thought I had to hurry. And now I'm going to take my time and stretch the shirt in the direction it needs to go so that it lays down nicely. Because you're adding heat to the shirt and part of it might contract. I think Eve even said, and I see where I'm missing a stone, but I'll put it on later. Eve even said there's some types of fabrics where the heat relaxes the fabric and it can even stretch. Let me work from left to right. And maybe that's where my extra stone went. Okay. Sorry, I'm not really saying anything. I'm concentrating. Okay, okay, okay. Move over just a little bit. And let's have you move up just a little bit. Okay, they're not on top. I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and press this layer. Then we have our light cyan AD layer. Now, I got to figure out where that sensor is that Chris is talking about. because I'm not familiar with the sensors. Hey, Penny, welcome. Hey, Rudy, welcome. Isn't that a cute design, Evelyn? This is one of Patrice's, and she made this quite a while ago. Whoops, sorry. It's been a while, but it's going to be super cute once we get this next layer on. So we have all the foundation that we need. Now we need to add the major bling. And which means I have to find the template. And you guys know that when I lay stuff down, sometimes it disappears. Hey, Faye, welcome. Hey, Porgy Town. Happy little bit late birthday, Porgy Town. Hey, Cheryl. And Gail, happy little early birthday. Thanks, Nicole. I can't remember if this is on Patrice's website or in her Etsy shop. But it's in one of the two, because I saw it there a couple weeks ago. Okay, I don't know if you can see these pink vibes, but this is the light cyan AB. I see pinks, I see red, I see purple. And when I hold the shirt up, you'll see red mainly from one direction, and then you'll start seeing all the other pretty colors. Hey, Zelda. I saw Porgy Town. Was that in Delanda's live? And I think she was, what was she eating? She was eating something, maybe cake or leftovers. I can't remember now. I have a ton of stones on here, but I don't care. Miss Jazzy G, I am still live. And if she's behind, yes, Ms. Jazzy G. Just in case she's behind, but she'll still see the chat. You were eating a candy apple, that's right. I love caramel apples. There's a candy store called the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, I think is the name of it. Do you guys have that where you are, or have you seen those? Because they have, I don't know how many different types of candy or caramel apples they have. Years ago, they mainly had just caramel apples. Now they have cheesecake, caramel cheesecake apple, and all kinds of things. Different layers of various nuts, white chocolate, dark chocolate, caramel. But I always love their caramel apples because it seems like the apples are real crisp. You're current. Okay. I just didn't want you to think I was ignoring you if you were not current. So now we're just brushing the excess off, and then it's going to take me a couple minutes to find a few more excess stones on there and move them to the open holes. I have quite a few open holes right here. I don't know why. I didn't do a great job, but I don't mind doing them one at a time. Not from the very beginning. I would not want to do that, although some people love to do that. But I like brushing the majority of them in with the brush, and then I don't mind having to hand place them. Okay, move these far enough away so when I lay my transfer tape down, if I do that before I put them up, I don't get it in it. Okay, so you've been there, Marlies. The best chocolate turtles. That's Tim's favorite, is chocolate turtles with caramel and nuts in Long Beach, California. It is pretty, Shay Shay, isn't it? Wait till you see it in the front camera, because this overhead camera is blah. That's a good word, just blah. Jesse, do I have it big enough for you to see if you see extras after I'm done? Or Chris, whoops, I actually dug one out I wanted to delete. Well, you do that, Shay Shay. Copying is a form of somebody liking what you're doing, so I don't have a problem with that at all. But you better wait and see how it turns out before you say that. But you might be like, well, I'm not so sure about that now. No, it's going to be beautiful. Hey, Linda Gray. Hey, Vera. Vera, I got your email. And I'll work on that, but it's going to have to be like a single line font for all those words. a single line font over 2 lines. But I'll try that and see how you like it. Okay, I could have brushed a few more of these off. Let me try to do that. There we go. That was a lot to just take off my hand. So what do you guys have planned for the weekend? Anything special? Yeah, Colorado. Magenta would be pretty. Colorado is where I remember mainly seeing the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. Now, they used to have it in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And Eureka Springs, Arkansas looks like some little town in, I'm just going to guess because I've never been there. But to me, it looks like a little town in Europe somewhere, like Italy. So if you Google Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and you see the downtown area, it's really, really, really cute and quaint. And they used to have the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory there, but I think they did away with the franchise. But I swear their apples are still the same. So I guess they probably learned from their franchise how to do it, and then they just dropped their franchise to save money. Or it might still be the franchise, but I don't think it is. And we are actually going jeeping this weekend, but it's just going to be a really, 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 really long day trip because it is so hot that I think Tim's afraid to take me camping, even though he tries to convince me it's not that hot. We'll be by a river. He'll have a fan on. But the final decision he told me was to leave early Saturday morning. So I think he's afraid of what might happen if I get him hot and I don't ever go again unless it's really cool outside. All right, I'm almost done, guys. I know this is getting long. Anything over 2 hours, I think, starts getting long. I don't know. Shay Shay, also, I checked last Saturday on your live for Sunday, and it said you were starting at 6 in the morning Central Time. And I looked at your thumbnail that you have up now for this Sunday, and it also says 6 in the morning. So, are you really starting like 2 hours earlier, or is that just some goofy translation error? Inquiring minds want to know. But if you haven't been watching her, she is like a YouTube natural. She does such a good job. Okay, come on, pick up. Alrighty, let's see. Now, some people will run their fingers over these, but I swear I'm sweaty and I'm hard-handed or heavy-handed. And the 2 times or so I tried it, it was a disaster. I cannot do it. Nicole, we stayed on so long that you're done with Bible study. Welcome back. Thanks, Kristen. Check the C in bunch. I wonder if I just cleaned it off. Jesse, I'm gonna watch for you. Okay, so you knew it was wrong, but you changed it to 8. Is that what you mean? I see it 9, which is my time. Mine shows 8 a.m. Central. Okay, thanks, Kristen. When I looked earlier, it was saying 6. I think that was today. Oh, I see an extra one here. And I have an extra one upside down there. And then I sometimes, you didn't change anything? Let me look in a minute. Sometimes, I see an extra one. I'll get down even with them. I know Delonda said she'll take a picture with her phone and that helps her. But I think she's mastered doing the finger thingy. But even Patrice, they'll just so lightly swoop their fingers over it, and that doesn't work. Okay. I knew I saw one up there. You're trying to hide from me. All right, I am going to stop right there. And Jesse always can see these really well. I think one time he even said he was on, we thought he was on something large. I think he might one time he'd even say he was on a phone. But maybe he zooms in on it. Okay, anybody see anything weird? So, Quilt Witch, Patrice is Craftable Things, and she does embroidery, lasers, sublimation, bling, and she said the other day, you might have heard me say this, that she wants to do a quilt block. And it was when I had taken a quilt block to my sister's house. So if somebody can put Craftable Things' link in here so she can see that, that would be great. She is awesome, sweet. She is also a full-time educator. But she does a lot of lives, Tuesdays and Fridays in the evening. And then she and Delonda every other weekend or so will be doing embroidery. Okay, I think, check the holes in the bees. I'm wondering if I left a hole in right there, but I'm afraid if I try to pull one out, it's going to pop my bling out. So I think I might be good. You're welcome, Patrice. There you go. Thanks, Dimps. Okay, so I think I'm good. Let's go ahead and pick this up using that same piece of transfer tape. We'll get this, I about said melted on. We'll get this heated on. Then we have to pick a color for the little diamond, which won't take very long. And then we'll be done with the shirt. But I'm going to pick up these stones. Then I'll take a little time to see about this machine. I'll bet Chris is right. I just don't know where that sensor is to try to clean it off. Okay. This is almost the last time I'll use this transfer tape. I will use it. Well, no, I probably won't use it for the little diamond because I have so many pieces of scrap transfer tape, and I'd rather not have a huge piece of transfer tape on a little diamond. So this is probably my last time to use this piece. But some people use them up to like 7 times. Okay, so I have another stone that was upside down or is missing its glue. Because there's hundreds of thousands of stones that go into these containers. And once in a while, you are going to have one that's missing its glue. Yep, missing its glue. So we're going to make sure we get one out of the correct box here and just put it down in its place. Bobbin area, you bet. I did take it out. Oh, you think the sensor's in the bobbin area? Thank you. Okay. I'm going to open it up, look in there, get my little cleaning brush, brush it out. Oh, I didn't quite lay that down in the perfect spot. But now that I'm looking for it, I can't find it. So if I can't find it, it's probably perfect enough. Good enough. All right, let's put the shirt down. It is a large shirt. Shay. It is. It's just my size. Oh my goodness, this is pretty. Now, maybe I should have used something that was way more contrasty with the red outline. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Looking good. Now I can see some over here that are slightly on top of that bee. Shift those over. Oh, I have a red stone that shifted out of place up here, which I can fix with this little wand thing I have. What that does mean is I need to take off the pink stone that would be right on top of it until I get it fixed. So let's see if I am plucking off the correct stone or not. Nope. Wrong one. Go one more to the right. Okay. Yes, I should have used a more contrasty stone. The little perfectionist in me wants to put down something else. Okay, if you guys want to leave, feel free to leave, but I can't do this. I cannot do this. I don't think it's going to look the way I want it to look. So this will go in my little area to scrape. Carrie, do you mean change it? Just feel okay to change it? Raise presser foot to clean out. The sensor that's possibly having an issue is most likely in the thread path because the machine is telling you upper thread path. Okay, maybe it caught in the tension disc. Okay, that's what Carrie was saying. All right, I'm sorry I am prolonging this, but I have a perfect color in mind. All right, we are going with, Icy Crystal AB. I think that's what I grabbed. And I apologize, but I know I would do this shirt and then I'd be like, why did you do that when you didn't really like it after all? You're cool hanging. Thanks, Shamika. All right, Jessie. Okay. Look at those. Woo! So pretty. Now, am I going to care that they're going to be somewhat similar to the outside? Is this a wise idea? Patrice, is this a wise idea? Should I get a light pink? Or a... Oh, just do it. Just do it, Marilyn. Do it. Do it. Thanks, Jessie. You guys know what movie that's from? Do it. I hope you do, because I can't remember. No what? Are you saying no to this color? I'm gonna watch. I'm watching. I am watching. Did you mean no? That color should be fine. Okay. I think so too. I think it's going to be pretty. I think it's hard to go wrong with this color. The only thing is, you know, my outline is that silver crystal. So it's going to be a little bit like it, but it is separated by the red, so it's going to be fine. As Patrice was saying, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, Mirror Bear. Oh, Patrice, when you were on live the other night, so one of my sister's birthday is also on my birthday. And thanks, Stevie. And when you said something about twinsies, she's like, well, you need to tell her that you're also my twinsy because we have the same birthday. It's like, okay, Terry, I will. Just not right now. Meaning during your life. I know I sound just like you. I've been practicing that sound. All right. I used to think it was easier when there were a ton of stones on here. I think I put too many stones on because they're just like not helping me. Okay, so this bottom part's looking okay. Have a couple stones to add. I'm going to have to cut some new transfer tape because until I scrape those other stones off the piece I have been using, I can't use it again. This Shay is Icy Crystal AB, and it is a major blinger. And the AB that you see in this is predominantly pink, in my opinion. Pink or pinky purple. And it sparkles so much. It's one of my very, very favorites. All right, let's start filling in the holes. You got this at AG? Cool. Good night, Bobby. Hey, Marilyn Barber. Looking for extra stones to pull off and put in those holes, but I don't see them. I don't see many extra stones. There's one. All right. Time to rock and roll. Put this thing to bed. Oops. I thought I had a stone on there and I didn't. Oh, so I said something earlier about this new product that I was going to try it, and I seriously have my doubts about it, but it's like a DTF powder that you put on the back of inkjet ink. So like the sublimation DTF hack, that was printing with the sublimation printer on DTF film and then using DTF powder. Well, this company sent some film, some powder that's supposed to work with inkjet printer ink on dark fabrics of any type. And I just can't see it working. But I'm going to try it. Hopefully I will get around to trying it tomorrow. But I have my major doubts. They also sent me some ink, but I'm not changing out the ink in my printer. And it didn't say that they expect that you're using that ink for this to work. But if it is, I'm not going to use their ink because I don't want to use an ink I've never heard of that acts a little bit different than regular inkjet ink. All it said was inkjet compatible with Epson Ecotaints, which probably means it has the type of container that clicks down into your Ecotank opening. But has anybody seen that product? Yes, I scrape mine. I use, where is it? Where is it? It's a little, here we go. And I got to plug in my computer. It's going to die. Then I'm going to be in big trouble. And my charger's downstairs. Let me text Tim real quick. Or call him and see if he'll bring my charger up. Because I'm going to lose you. He might be. Oh, hey, can you bring the charger for my computer upstairs? I'm about to die. Okay, thank you. Bye. All right. Okay, so here it is. Very, very pretty. We're going to have to cut a new piece of transfer tape, which, here it is. Tim to the rescue, that's right. Thanks, Keisha. Check on top of the bee in bunch. Okay.
Is this the right one?
Yes, perfect. So, goes right there.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Which one did you want to use? The one that's here or the one from downstairs?
That's funny. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's hanging off the side.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll take the other one downstairs.
Kristen said, thanks, Tim.
You're
Keisha
welcome.
said, yay, Tim. Shay said, Tim to the rescue.
Yay. Glad to help. Hello, everyone.
Okay, Jesse, I don't see an extra. I think I'm good. And Deb said, hey. And Porchy Town. People are saying hi. The mailman delivers. That's right. I'm going to go back and tell him who all said hi. Okay. I had a charger up here and didn't see it. He hadn't noticed it. I should have kept my mouth shut. Thank you guys for all saying hi. He'll be with me at Bling Fest again. I know, Jesse. There is so much shine on these. Shay, what would you have her rename it to? What are you thinking? All right, this one behaved pretty well. Move all those stones over. Get them cleaned up. And my sleeve just landed in some of them. Move those over. There we go. Double film. Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you meant some of the colors of the rhinestones. You meant the double film. Oh, I see an extra one in the end. Up in the corner. Now, where was it? There it is. And it was sneaky because it went in an area that looked like maybe it could have fit in. Stacy's claiming that saying. Well, that looks like it went down pretty easily. I do have these down here that I need to adjust a little bit because I feel like they were a little bit on top of the red. Okay, that was pretty easy. See, that really stands out so much more, and it's going to look better than what you see here because this just looks like all white, and it is not, it's not just all white, but we have to figure out a color for up there. So maybe maybe I should use the light cyan maybe up there where it's not up against the red. That's probably what I'll do. Now, what is going on? All right, let me clean those up. And then we have that one diamond to do. And there's a lot of stones going back in here. On my little ice chipper. Huh. Stacy's being bad. Stacy was being bad on live because she was up walking around. I wasn't on live. I was watching the after, the replay, and I went to tell her, sit down. Sit down, Stacy. Oh, that's pretty. I can't wait till you see the full size of this, but look at that. Ooh. Now we're going to use the light cyan maybe for the diamond. And we have to find the diamond. There it is. Okay, what color are you? You go in this container. Thanks, Stevie. Thanks, Rosetta. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Zelda. Donzel, Keisha, Shamika. Thanks, everybody. Okay, one more, then we're going to make this camera big so you can really see it. Thanks, Marie. I agree. I think it shows off so much better. The light cyan maybe was just too close to the same color, and it was just making it all kind of blend together. This is too pretty of a template to do that to it. It just made the letters look big and blocky instead of like an outline the way it should look. Okay, that was good, and I see a couple of extras in there. Let me get those off. I think that's good. Nope, I see one more extra. Thanks, Ruji. All right, so I have a ton of small scraps of transfer tape, of hot fix transfer tape. And my little drawer back here, that looks like a good one. Everybody needs a drawer of scrap stuff. Oh, I see an extra one. That was close. You have a room of scraps? All right. See if I can do this without having these go all over the place. I have my jar down here. The ones that get stuck in the holes, you see some in the holes, those are the ones that cause the problems. Come out. Come out. There we go. All right, last press, and then we're going to do a little investigation in the embroidery machine and see if I can't find something to fix it. I'm sure it probably is, like Chris was talking about, a sensor that thinks something's wrong because it has something on it that doesn't belong there. All right. Hey, Elba. My flippy hair. My flippy crazy hair. Okay. Look. I'll move this up a little bit. That is so much better than what I almost did. Look at that. And this icy crystal AB is so pretty. So I'm happy, even though I'm going to take a little bit of time to scrape, 5 minutes at the most, save those old stones, and I like this so much better. So Patrice, I love the template. Let's set that over here. And let's try a little investigation. All right, let me remove that. Move it. You've got to move it, move it. Anybody know what movie that's from? Go the other way, Marilyn. Okay, let's see. Thank you, guys. Is that what it is? I know it's like a Disney-ish type movie, but I couldn't remember which movie it was. All right, I have a few spare stones I need to pick up. We're going to move those out of the way. We are going to take this off. Oh, I didn't trim it. Whoopsie. So the bobbin probably didn't get trimmed either then, and I'm just pulling a lot more thread out. Okay, set this aside. What in the world? Why is that thread coming out of? Oh, okay. Never mind. We're good. Okay, I'm just going to start by removing the bobbin, even though it is probably an upper thread issue. And let me grab my little brush. Oh, I need to turn my heat press off too. That is starting to smell hot. Okay, really, it looks pretty good down in there. You can take this whole thing off and take the whole thing out, but that looks, if you can see in there, that actually looks really clean in there. So I'm going to assume it's not that. We'll put this back in. Wind it the way it goes. And that back in. I don't really want to take this thing all apart. Chris, what's your good suggestions for me? Take take this off and clean in there? Because I'm going to do that on my own time if that's it. Uh-oh, 755's got something up her sleeve. Okay, Chris. Make sure it's in the hook at the top. Okay, I'm just going to... Let me walk around this thing. And look back here. See if I see anything weird. Okay, that looks fine. There's screws in this I would have to take out to take this off. It might just be that one screw though. Let me grab a Phillips head screwdriver. Okay. I'm not going to try to force anything too much because I want to read the instructions if there's anything that's giving me a problem with that. Okay. So I've got it off. Here's a little... That just looks like the lightning. I know blowing in it is not the correct way to clean it. But everything looks really clean in there. I don't know. Greasy because I've been oiling it. I don't see anything. Let's see if Chris is telling me anything. I'm amazed at how clean it looks in there. Okay. What'd Chris say? Because somebody said you're so darn smart. Zap? What's that? A quick zap with canned air can clear issues so you can finish the design. I don't have any canned air in here. I'll blow on it. I'll just blow on it. I got a pretty big blower mouth. Oh, something fell out. Right there. Look, that fell out. Can you guys see that? That came out. I don't know. Maybe that was stuck on the sensor. Now I know I can sew without this thing on there. Or I'm sorry, I can stitch without this thing on here. I feel like I have that in quite right. Angel B warned me. She said brave, but she meant crazy. There we go. Well, not quite. She said brave, but she meant crazy for not using this for a long time and then using it on live. Why are you not going in? need a ratchet tight. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. Let's see what happens. And there is a ton of lint on here. Okay, what are you guys saying? I see people talking to Dimps. I mean, unbiased. Boy, I have a lot of fibers from my fabric that I should have done better with. Oh, don't put it on yet, Marilyn. You gotta thread it. Okay. You back this up a little bit. If this doesn't work, then I'll just wait. Something is not quite right there. There we go. Bring that. Something's still not right the way I put this together. That gap is too big. We're gonna see what happens though. I don't even think you have to have that on to use it. This does have an auto threader, but I'm not good with auto threaders, so I don't use them. Gonna work, okay. Let's see. I didn't get that back together right, guys. Okay, we're gonna try it though. We're gonna try it, and we're gonna be ready to turn it off real quick, like. It's working! Now I'm gonna stop it to trim off that thread. Look at all this junk on here. Okay. We're done. We're done. I'm going to write down the number of stitch I'm on and then spend more time on my own going through this. So let me find something to write on. I'll write on my gum thing. I am on stitch 1 for 17,342, and I'll just back it up some and go from there. It went for a little while, guys. All right, let's just take that off. And then let's just go to one screen. Where am I? There I am. There I am. All right, let me show you what I have so far in this. So much excess stuff. Okay, so there are little threads hanging off of this. That is not the machine thread. That is actually little fibers that was on the side of the fabric. That was hanging out from the side of the fabric. I don't like that. If you know me, you know I'm not going to like that. But right now it is what it is. Let me clean up a few of those. It's okay. We're not worried about it. So here's what we have so far. Life is tough, but, and that was the start of So Are You. So I'm going to make sure there's nothing wonky in this design on the top of the T where it didn't stitch down. I'm going to work on that machine. I'm going to show you the shirt one more time, then we'll be done. There it is. So pretty. Oh, so pretty. I love it. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. Remember, I am going to take down the various things that I put up for members. I'm going to take those down tonight. So if you are a somewhat new member, make sure you grab those. I'll wait a couple of hours, but I will take those down. And then I'm going to check this out, make sure there's nothing wrong with the file itself. I don't think there is, but I'll check it over just to make sure there were no missing stitches. And then I'll add that to a member's post. And, oh, there was more. Okay. No, Miss Jessie G, this is Patrice's design. And I can't remember if it's in her Etsy shop or if it's on craftable.things.com. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. I just blinded you. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Quilt Wench, for being here. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Keisha, don't forget, give yourself some grace. Start small. Schedule a little time block on a day off when you're not exhausted. So if you're working all day Friday, spend Saturday, take some time to yourself, and maybe Sunday evening, you know, while Eva's live, just block off a couple hours. But start small. I hope you do it. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Jill Gray. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I will see you guys next Thursday. We are maybe going to be sewing the little bitty backpacks, or I also found a little AirPods case. You wouldn't have to use it for AirPods, but I found a little AirPods case that I liked. I thought it was cute. I don't think it'd be a difficult stitch out. I mean, a sewing job is going to be on a sewing machine next Thursday. I'll find something and I'll let you know ahead of time. But until then, hopefully I see you tomorrow night in Patrice's chat. Hopefully I see you Sunday in Eve's chat. And then we start over Monday, Angel B. And I am going to go back and rewatch what Becky's been doing this week. Hopefully I can make it up for more of her lives. Okay? I'll see you guys later.